Good, my intro powered tribe. We are back. My name is Ase Daniels, and so glad you are joining us. Or when you listen to this, this is the podcast for you, my formerly known as introverts. Man, I got something good tonight, but let's start here. We are the intro powered. We are powered by our no to create room for our bigger yes. We are recharged with kindness, not say being nice. Kindness and nice, there's two different things. Now I added something new. We are renewed with bounce back resiliency against burnout. I love that, y'all. We are renewed, like there's renewable energy. It's all energy and powered focus. What we're doing, the intro powered, okay? So we are renewed with bounce back resilience against burnout. I believe each and every one of us will go through a season of burnout. It is not whether or not you go through the season of burnout, it's how quickly you can bounce back. Oh, this is good. I can't wait. That's coming. That's coming. I got something that's coming, but I got a series that we're starting. And we are propelled by our life's magnet, which is our spiritual gift. Some people don't understand what that is, and I wish we would do more as a church to talk about that. But that's what I believe I'm here on earth to do and to build and to continue this conversation and to put it on people's minds and hearts. We need to identify our spiritual gift, or what I term as our life magnet. Okay. Tonight's series, we're beginning a new series. Y'all know I love series. I love series. Tonight we're beginning a new series on the big three. Okay, the big three, the big three. Um, I'm a huge NBA fan. I'm a Dallas Mavericks fan, and I love my favorite players are Kevin Garnett and Akeem Olajuwon. Those are my favorites, and I can even go Kevin Durant. Even though things aren't going great with the Nets, I don't know what's going on. Hopefully they figure it out this season. But these are my favorite players. But I want us to understand something. And I got a list here. All the latest, the most every NBA team that has won championships, the majority of them, the majority of them in the last 10 to 15 years, all have had a big three. And I got the list right here. Where's my list? Let me pull it up. These are the big three. Okay. And I'm gonna go through, and I'm gonna start from, I can't remember all of them, but I'm gonna say most of them here. We can go Miami Heat. Okay, we can start with 2012 Miami Heat. We all know the big three. It was a big deal. Remember when LeBron made the decision and he decided to go to Miami, left Cleveland, went to Miami, became part of the big three. It was him, Dwayne Wade, and what's the left-handed dude? Why can't I remember his name? Either way, they had a big three, okay, and they won back-to-back championships. Then we go San Antonio, Tim Duncan. I'm drawing a blank on names. And the point guard. Why can't I think of the names? If y'all are here, put in the chat if you remember the names of the people on the big three. The big three, y'all. I'm slipping. I need to pull these up, but all these latest championship teams have all had a big three. All of them. The majority of them have all had. You could go now. I was trying to think of the big three. If y'all are in the chat, put in the chat who is the big three from the Shaq and Kobe Lakers. Who is the third best player on those championship teams? They won the championship in 2009 and 2008, right? Or you could say Derek Fisher. You could say, all these guys. Okay, these are the big three, and I'm just going. We go 2015, the big three: Steph, Clay, Draymond, big three. Then you go LeBron James, back to Cleveland, won the championship, and I have big respect for LeBron James. Now I might not agree that he's the GOAT, but I think he's a top three of all time. Easy. That's an easy call. Top three. Absolutely. And I have more respect for him off the court than I do on the court. And it's because the moves he makes are championship level off the court. And that's where I'm going. We're going to be talking a lot about LeBron James. I'm getting there. Then, we could go on along the list. Milwaukee Bucks, 2001. Giannis, another one of my favorite players. I am drawing a blank tonight. Some of y'all need y'all to help me in the chat. Let me pull up Facebook. because I need y'all to help me in the chat. Who are these big three? Either way, we'll get there. It's not a huge deal, but I think y'all know where I'm going. Fellas, y'all understand where I'm going. The big three is so important that we understand that every NBA champion all had a big three. Now, what do I mean by the big three? The big three in NBA circles is those are the individuals that are usually the best players on the team. These are the three best players. These are the most consistent, the most dependable, regards of scoring, assisting, rebounding, defense. These are the big three. And usually, especially in the playoff atmosphere, going on the way to the playoff series, on the way to the championship series, these are the players that are the go-to players. They are dependent upon to do the heavy lifting so that the team can become the best version of itself, not only win in the regular season, but in the playoffs where it's more intense, where it's the mistakes are highlighted even more bigger, and the opportunities for greatness are even better in the playoffs and in the championships. And every championship team, and shout out to this year, Golden State Warriors, again, the big three came back. Clay came back off his injury. Clay, Draymond, Steph. Steph got Finals MVP. He's doing big things. And I need us to understand something with the big three. So we look at it as far as a team, and they have a big three. And each team, each NBA franchise, each billion-dollar franchise, at least, all have they focus on obtaining and fostering and maturing and growing their big three. They make sure they invest in them. And these individuals usually are paid the most on the team because they're dependent on the most. Ooh, I need us to understand this is important. This is important. Now I'm taking it off the court. Who is our big three? And I heard Dr. Townsend, who wrote the book Boundaries. I just went to a conference and he was one of the presenters. And he said a term that I want us to understand. We're going to be living here for the next couple weeks as we go through the Big Three series. We're going to be breaking down who these big three are. I'll just share them right here. Everybody off the court. Now, again, see, my thing is, once you leave, let's say you're a professional athlete, or you are a professional singer, songwriter, actor on the stage, in the movies, right? You're doing big things. You're making big time moves. But I'm telling us, and I need us to understand, every single one of the people that we have high esteem, Denzel, Oprah, Steph Curry, LeBron, Beyonce, every single one of these individuals have multiple big three. They have big three and more. All of them do. Every single one of them. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. These NBA players have multiple coaches on the sideline. They have multiple coaches off the court. When they leave, they have fitness coaches, strength and training coaches, somebody who takes care of. They have a chef. They have all these different things. And LeBron James is the prime example. And I really want to begin to study his life, because he's the one off the court that's making bigger moves than he made even on the court. We know he's one of the greatest of all time. Again, see, it's about a mindset. Now, you might not like LeBron James as the player, but I need us to understand and see the moves that he's making, and the mindset and the focus and the intelligence that he does things, and that he does not do them alone. He doesn't do these things alone. He always has a squad. And they even call it the four horsemen. They call it him and his three other boys. We're going to be diving into them. And we're going to be studying each one of them plays a specific role in order to help LeBron James become the best version of himself, to become ultra elite of success. He's the one that does it because he's been deliberate. And they even say he spent over $1 million a year just on his body. Just not saying even coaching. So, oh my goodness, I'm getting excited. Let me slow down. Look, if LeBron James, if you really want to be the best version of, let me read y'all this quote, and I put it in my men's group. Shout out to the winning circle, fellas. If you need some, you need some community. You want to be pushed. You want to be encouraged, and you want to be held accountable, and you want to win in the things that matter. Go to the menswinningscircle.com. I'm gonna put the link later, but I need y'all to go there. I need y'all to understand that we all need community. Every one of us needs community. All right. But here's the quote. Let me pull this quote up. And I need y'all to understand this hit me in the chest, and every time I read it, it hits me. But I need us to get here and understand that it's not whether or not we have to want to be great. We really have to want to be the best versions of ourselves. A lot of us don't. We're okay with me being mediocre. And I promise you, life is like going up the down escalator. If you're content to just be mediocre, by default, that means you're okay with where you are and you're only taking one step at a time. But I'm telling you, by default, you're going up the down escalator. If you only take one step at a time, going up that down escalator, eventually your progress is going to be diminished and diminished and diminished. And it's going to be even harder. We have to shift and we have to dismiss and cancel and condemn and do whatever it takes, sever, destroy the idea and mindset of mediocrity. Okay? Mediocrity is what kills all dreams. Wanting to be average, wanting to be content. Now, it's one thing to be content with where you are, but you have to know that I'm content with where I am, but I'm not willing to stay where I am. Life is about growth. And the second we stop growing, we start dying. Okay, back to the big three. Let me read y'all this quote. Let me read y'all this quote real quick right here. Okay. It says that we are kept from our goal. Oh, this is good, y'all. This dude named Robert Brault said, we are kept from our goal, not by obstacles, but by a clear path to a lesser goal. I need us to receive that. That, oh my goodness, y'all. We are kept from our goal, not by obstacles. Obstacles make us stronger. They make us a better version of ourselves. That's what we need to want to understand and have going on. These are not the ones that that slow us down. It's not the obstacles. It's being content. It's being okay with being average, and it's okay with being mediocre. Because the problem is we can't be the right tool for the job if we're content with just being mediocre. That's the problem. That's why we need a big three. Listen to what I'm telling you. Each one of us needs a big three in order to gain and get to the success level that we want to achieve and to accomplish. And I'll just share personally, and I'm gonna share tonight, how do we prepare and to obtain that big three in our lives. There's 5 ways that we prepare to obtain and prepare for the big three in our lives. We got to prepare to include and be deliberate about including them in our lives so that we can get to where we need to go. We can't do it alone. See, pride says I got to grind, this whole grind culture, and I'll sleep when I'm dead, and sleep is for suckers, and all this ridiculous rhetoric that does not work, that got exposed during the pandemic, that it does not work, it's not sustainable, and we now understand that their life needs balance, and that's why this quiet quitting has become such a huge deal. Is because a lot of individuals have defaulted to quiet quitting. Again, it's a mediocre, average mindset that says, "Oh, I'm okay with going average, just showing up, just checking the boxes, and not really giving the full version of myself and my energy, my talent, my passion, my gifts and talents to whatever my hands find, that I touch, that my name is over. I should want to do those with excellence." And a lot of times we are not the best version of ourselves because we have not included other people into our lives to help enhance and to expose and to bring out the clog so that we can be more efficient, more effective, more impactful, more influential. But there's things that we need to work on individually. And I'm going to say this here, and I'm going to say it consistently. Some of us need to take a year and invest in ourselves in order to see. It's not just being selfish. So, oh, I want to do this so I can make money, to be the best version, be popular, be successful, famous. That's not what I'm talking about. Because we need to become the best version of ourselves so that we can do exponentially more for others. I need us to understand what's going on here. This is not just for us. There's people waiting on our gift, our life magnet. Someone's waiting on it tonight. And we need to prepare for it. The big three: therapist, counselor, coach. Therapist, counselor, coach. Therapist, counselor, coach. And I'm going to break these down in the next couple weeks. What a therapist is for, and I'll sum it up real quick. It's a hospital analogy, but I need us to understand this is the big three. This is the big three that we need to prepare for. Okay, a therapist is just like if you're in the hospital. There's things that you go to the hospital for that can only be done inside a hospital. Surgery, broken bone. There's certain procedures that can only be done within a hospital, within a sterile environment, and that's what a therapist does. It's in a timeline. It helps us go backwards and uncover and excavate some of the things that are going on down in our heart and subconscious and the broken, unhelpful paradigms, because usually those are fueled by trauma, by hurt and pain, and unconfessed issues that we have. That therapist helps us bring those things to the light. Unless those things, those traumas, those hurts, those pains come to the light, they will never be healed. Listen what I'm telling you. The Bible says is that we confess our sins, not just our sins, the mistakes we make, but to confess the issues and the pain that we have experienced. We need to confess them, verbalize them, give them a name. And that therapist's job is to help us do that. I'm giving y'all what the next three are. So we're gonna break down what a therapist is, what they are not, and how to find an effective one. This is important because in this season, I'm hoping people realize if you don't have a therapist, if you haven't decided to invest in you and get you a therapist, we got to have a conversation. Okay, again, this is not lifelong. I don't believe in lifelong therapy. I believe that we should have short-term accountability, but long-term support. There's some nuance there, but we're going to break that down. So, hospital analogy, big three. All right. Therapists help us deal with things that only a hospital can do. Counselor they are the physical therapist. So after we come out of surgery, after we come from, I had on this knee, I had orthoscopic surgery on my right knee. And after I came out of orthoscopic surgery, so they leave you from the hospital as you get recovering from surgery, and as you heal, you got to go to physical therapy. A lot of us have gone to physical therapy. If you've been in physical therapy, it's not comfortable. It's not. And see, this is what a lot of folks are hesitant to want to even think about going to a therapist or a counselor. See, the counselor, they're the physical therapist in the analogy, the hospital analogy. Therapists are the surgeons or the primary care doctors, that they have to do certain things within the hospital setting or a clinic that can only be done there. So that's what the therapist does. The counselor deals with more present tense, what's going on right now with you. They help you process faulty thinking, anxiety, and depression. Those are mainly counselors. Therapists do that, and there's kind of a loose kind of a definition of what therapists do. Sometimes therapists do what counselors do, and sometimes counselors do what they. So then but we want to talk about 5 ways to prepare. But the counselor helps you deal with present situations, how you're feeling, what's going on with you. How do you recover from a divorce? How do you recover from job loss? How do you recover from not getting the job that you want? Whatever it is, they help you recover and kind of pick yourself back off the feet, strengthen those muscles, maybe spiritual muscles, financial muscles, mental muscles, emotional muscles, emotional intelligence. These are the things that counselors help us build up so that we can recover from the surgery, right? So that we can come out of the hospital setting. And it's usually physical therapists, you go a couple times a week until you're back on your feet. Some folks, depending on the injury, have to do it for a week, 2 weeks, a month, 2 months, 6 months, a year. Just like with ACL surgery, it takes most folks 9 months to a year to recover. Then with the sports, so there's a lot of different nuances in there. Now the coach is synonymous with now once you leave the hospital, once you leave the physical therapy, now they help you take your life to the next level. Life lessons about because wherever you left, wherever you went into the hospital, now that you come out, it's time that you've recovered physically, but now we need to be, again, not being satisfied with where we are, but being desiring to want to become the better version of ourselves. That's what the coach does. It helps us find out where we are now and helps us, pulls us and encourages us, equips us so that we can become the better version of ourselves. That's what the coach does. And there's a lot of different ways that the coach can do it. So some of us might think we're in shape, but if you get a fitness coach, they can say, okay, you're here. Our job is to help us get to that next level. That's what the coach does. So we're going to break this down even further, but how do we prepare? Let me break this down. Okay, I got a list here. How do we prepare for a therapist, counselor, coach? How do we prepare? A lot of them are the same, and there's nuance in as you go from each level. But I believe each one of us, if we want to become the better version of ourselves, Oprah, LeBron, he even had sponsored the Calm app. Now, to me, LeBron, everything he does is very deliberate. But I applaud LeBron for choosing the Calm app because I believe personally, and I haven't done a ton of research, but I just have a sense that you don't choose to want to invest and support and put your name behind a company and a group and an app of just anything. So I think he chose the Calm app because that is something that he was working through himself, and he found the solution dealing with helping people fight anxiety and depression, et cetera, and to find a sense of peace. So he decided to invest in and become partners with the Calm app. That to me, he's focused on knowing that, hey, I can't just win financially. I can't just win on the basketball court, but I have to win in my mind. I have to win in my emotions. So again, so he's very deliberate and very strategic about what the moves he makes, and I watch closely what he does. But I'm telling us again, to be the best version of ourselves, we can't just expect us. If some of us are really talented and gifted in finances, some of us are really talented and gifted in teaching, some of us are really talented and gifted in preaching. But if you think that you can just do that and that's it, and you don't need to become a well-rounded version of yourself, then you're going to struggle because life is going to hit you in the chest and it's going to put you on your back. And to me, it's not whether or not you get put on your back. It's about the recovery. Again, like I shared earlier, are we renewed with bounce back resiliency? And I'm getting into the next series. But next series, we're going to be talking about resiliency because the question is, like John Maxwell said, do in life, do you bounce or do you splat? Oh, that's going to be good, y'all. That's coming up. That's coming up. But I need us to understand, in order to get that bounce back resiliency, we need to have the big three in our lives, at least the big three. We all need to have a therapist. I have a therapist. I was fighting some real anxiety, fighting real anxiety. Now, again, again, I watch my words. I'm fighting anxiety. I'm being proactive to attack it, to become resilient against anxiety. Okay, not I have anxiety or I'm anxious. Watch your words. We have to watch our words. My counselor, shout out to Minister Vanderhorst, he said that forgive me, our words that we say out of our mouths, the words we speak, our words create our worlds, our entire worlds. Our words do that. So we got to be careful how we speak about ourselves, about others, and about God. But see, and again, in that sterile environment, in that therapy environment, we can be honest. And that's what I've been able to do with my therapist. I can speak honestly and transparently without worried about being judged or criticized or minimized, et cetera, et cetera. So this is what we need. So and then the coach, let me tell y'all something. When you put down, shout out to Kimon and Ideas to Life. If y'all need somebody to help you with your business, that's the dude. Holla at Kimon Hines, Ideas to Life. Monetize your mind. That's the kind of things he poured into me. When Anthony and I put down that cash and got a coach to help with me with coaching, et cetera, to build up the business. When you put down an investment, everything changes. I'm trying to tell y'all what happens. And I'm gonna share real quick, and I'm gonna give y'all the 5. Okay. This is what we need to do, and I'll share with me. I'm telling this happened within the last couple of years. I need us to get here. The last 3 to 5 years, I finished my book, My first book, I've been writing it for 5 years. Got a business coach, got a therapist, and got a counselor. Got all these three, the big three. I finished my book. I finished my master's program after trying two different other master's programs and starting to stopping. I finished my master's degree, and I'm building my coaching and burnout resilience coaching. That's what I'm really focused on, is to help people recover from burnout, and not just recover, but become now resilient against burnout, so that when you do experience burnout, it's not for as long, and you're able to bounce back even stronger. I'm telling you, there's a way to do it. I got a system. Say no with a smile. Either way, there's a system, and if you're interested in that, I got a link in my bio that you can make an appointment. We can have a conversation. But here are the five. Here are the five. I'm trying to tell y'all what I'm living. And I can't, I wish I would. I'm telling you, the only thing I regret is I wish I had started and was willing to invest earlier in myself to scale. The big three helps you scale, where you not just have to grind and have to do all this by yourself. That makes no sense. It makes no sense when you can get a therapist, when you can get a counselor, and when you can get a coach that will help you scale your growth, your maturity, and your success. It's so much faster, as opposed to having to fight and claw and just claw your way out of the mud. That's what our parents did. We need to work smarter, not harder. Shout out to Scrooge McDuck. Shout out to Scrooge McDuck. He taught us that lesson, and I didn't get it until recently. Work smarter, not hard. Nothing wrong with hard work. We watch our parents do it. That generation, we watched them do it. But we need to work smart. We need to stand on their shoulders. Stand on their shoulders and learn the life lessons. But now we add the remix to it. We add the upgrade to it. We add the wisdom, and because we're in the technology age, y'all. We can't keep doing and think that we could find a job and work there for 30 years. Those days are far and in between. They're limited now. We need to continue to grow and to become the best version of ourselves. 5 ways. Here we go. How do we prepare for the big three? Our big three. Oh man, I'm telling y'all, I can't think of one successful person that we look up to and admire and respect that doesn't have at least three of these individuals in their lives that specialize in specific areas to help that star, that person that we look up to, and we love watching their movies. We love watching them play ball. We love listening to them sing or play music or whatever it is. Now, I need us to understand, in business, all these dudes have coaches, whether they say it or not. And see, let me tell you, I'm going to say it for them. They got coaches. I don't care how good Steph Curry is a shooter. He has a shooting coach. One of the best shooters of all time has a shooting coach. What does that tell you about you? He's still the best, and he still has a shooting coach. Okay, see, mindset. Humility. You think you can do it all? Keep trying. Let me tell you something. You might do it, but it's going to take you way longer than me doing it with the coach. Somebody who's done what I want to do and can teach me, equip me, pour into me, give me guidance and wisdom and understanding to scale so that I don't have to work as hard for as long. I'm going to do that way. I'm going to invest. I'm going to push that cash in. I'm going to push that cash into the middle of the table, and I'm betting on me and God's gift in me. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm telling y'all, I'm excited about this because we need to experience this. We need to have the big three. We need to be courageous enough to invest in ourselves so that we can become the best version of ourselves to do exponentially more for others. That's what it is. That's what it is. I'm trying to tell y'all, the big three, you need to invest in you. You need to invest in you so that you can do more for others. I'm talking to my formerly known as introverts. I'm talking to you. We need to invest in ourselves. We need to find the lane in which we lead. Yes, we do. Here we go. Number one, have a specific goal or destination. So you can get in the car, but if you don't know where you're going, you'll never get there. This is how we prepare. Number one way to prepare to obtain and your big three. You got to know, be specific about a goal and destination. Usually with a therapist, a counselor, coach, they always have an intake assessment, a quiz or questionnaire, something to find out, what do you want? Where do you want to go? What do you want to achieve? They ask these questions. So we need to be ready to have these questions answered. Like for me, I want to eventually, I want to write 5 books. I want to write a spiritual gifts in new a brand a new version of the spiritual gifts inventory, not these 150 questions, something more succinct, something simpler, but it's back with knowledge, but it's easy so that even high school students, college students, and adults can easily take that test and be able to identify their spiritual gift so that they can leverage that towards their vocation. I want to earn my PhD. And I already know what my dissertation I want it to be. It's let's see, how do I say it? Identifying your spiritual gift and its vocational alignment in a post-pandemic world. Now I'm telling y'all, this is good. I know I got it down. I already know what it is. I don't know where yet. Say a prayer for me. I got to pray about where that is, but that's what I'm praying about. So number one, you got to have a specific goal and destination. See, a lot of times people go to therapy, they go to counseling, they get a coach, but they don't know what they want to do, and that it just makes things go much further. It just takes longer to get to where you want to go, to get to get that knowledge, to get that understanding, to scale, to not have to work as hard. We have to invest in, and it could even look like, I'm getting into it, but it could even look like a apprenticeship, mentorship, whatever that is. We need to include the big three. And you know what? You call out your big three. Whether you need, and I would even consider a counselor, a pastor, right? Or a coach. Again, a coach does something specific to help you once you've recovered from your emotional, physical, mental, sexual, uh, 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 interpersonal, interrelational trauma and abuse and pain and frustration or whatever. Once you recover from those things, then you need a coach to help you take you to the next level. Okay, that so the coach takes you from where you are to that entirely new level after you've recovered. So some now again, these can be interchangeable. You might have a coach and a counselor, or a coach and a therapist, and a counselor and a coach at the same time. More than one thing can be true if you're ready and have the bandwidth. So you got to really be honest with yourself. So I'm gonna get here. So as you go, I'm telling y'all, listen. It's almost like, when a baby starts walking, you're gonna expect to fall down. When a newborn baby starts finally putting his feet on the ground, here feet on the ground, the legs aren't strong yet. The knees, the calves, anything, you're still getting used to the the weight of the head and just living, trying to figure out life, how to get to where you want to go. It's uncomfortable. Listen, just like exercising. I don't know what's worse, getting in shape or staying in shape. I think getting in shape is worse. It's way easier to stay consistent once you're in shape as opposed to trying to get in shape. It's painful, it's uncomfortable. You are sore, you're tired, you're achy. There's pains that come from your hips and your knees and your back and your neck and all these different things. But you got to work through it. That's what therapists, counselors, and coaches help you do. Help you work your way as you continue to grow. All the most successful people all have multiple coaches. So as you invest in yourself, you're with a therapist, counselor, coach. Be kind to you. Number two is the best ways to prepare and obtain a coach. The big three. Be kind to yourself and expect temporary setbacks. Again, you're going to be sore, you're going to be tired, you're going to be frustrated, you're going to be angry. You're not. It's just going to be, it's going to be uncomfortable. The most successful people embrace the uncomfort. They are content in the uncomfort. They are content in that growth space inside of your heart, inside of your subconscious. Build, recreating and building new neural pathways of thinking and understanding and healing and restoration, severing the emotional pain that's attached to the memory, again, of recovery. That's what therapists, counselors, and coaches help us do. Well, the therapists help us deal with the past, the counselor helps us deal with the present, and the coach helps us deal with the future. That's the kind of the breakdown, the analogy. Okay. So we got to expect temporary. These aren't long term, but again, growth is uncomfortable. Trauma recovery is uncomfortable, and we're gonna feel like fussing and cussing. It's gonna be that frustrating. Excuse me. But if we're willing to work through the uncomfortable, embrace the suck. That's what some people I've heard it say. Embrace it. No, this workout is gonna hurt. I'm gonna be sore as you know what after, but I'm willing to do it because I want to become the best version of ourselves. That's why you got to have a specific reason, a specific goal and destination before you start. Your why. Okay. Number three, find someone who mentions who is rightly aligned with your desired goal and destination. Not every therapist is for you. Not every counselor is for you. Not every coach is for you. It's important that they are rightly aligned with the destination and goal that you have. And again, they have intake questions, questionnaire. In fact, I'm gonna work on that. Let me write that down. You need to have a list of questions that you ask your therapist, counselor, your potential, not that you agreed to anything, you haven't signed up for anything. Your potential therapist, counselor, coach. You got to have a list of questions because you have to find someone that's rightly aligned, that has the same life principles and the same standards that as you do. That's important. Not that they can't help you, but if they are rightly aligned with you in the direction and the mindset, attitude, and beliefs and structure, not again, you can have a non-Christian therapist. I don't believe that you have to have a Christian therapist, but I'm telling you, it scales. Again, to talk about scale, it scales if that person is aligned with you. That's how you prepare because you said, I'm going to be deliberate about where I am and what I need. Right? It might not be spiritual. It might be just strictly emotional. You know what I'm saying? You got to know what works for you. Rightly aligned is rightly aligned for you, not for I say. And I say is rightly aligned. Therapist, coach, counselor might not be for you, and that's okay. That's okay. But you have to know what that is. Number four, be prepared to invest, and I'm talking about financially, with your time, and with your emotional bandwidth. Okay, we need to be. Some of us need to spend a season going to therapy. Not forever. I don't believe it takes forever. I don't believe that. But I believe for a season of our lives, we need to be willing to put other things down. Maybe that goal, that dream, put it down, pause it. Don't give up on it. Don't throw it away. Pause it so that you can invest in you. Say, you know what? For this season, I'm going to go to therapy. For this season, I'm going to get me a counselor. For this season, I'm going to get me a coach to help me. So most counselor and most, especially coaches, have packages where it's an 8-week or 10-week package where they work with you from where you are to where you want to go, and they kind of they're checking with you because I'm telling you, therapists, counselors, and coaches, they will work harder if you know what you want, right? So you got to be prepared to invest. Take time to figure out what that looks like. And again, this series, we're going to tell you, I'm going to be sharing about how to find the best therapist, what that looks like to help you get to where you are and to break down the different types of therapists and I mean, there's tons of nuance there, but I'm going to give you some core principles of what to do, how to find the best therapist, how to find the best counselor, how to find the best coach. And I'm hoping that this series will help shine a light to understand what you need. But I believe each verse, you need a big three of something: counselor, coach, pastor, um, apprenticeship, internship, mentorship. We need a big three. It's one of these. Okay, I'm focused on therapist, counseling, coaching, but we need a big three in our lives all at the same time. I truly believe that to help us get to where we want to be, the destination, to scale more efficiently. Number five. So, and I'm gonna sum these up, but be on time for your appointments and communicate prior if you're not. I mean, that's just being respectful and courteous. But again, see, when you put it on your calendar, once these kind of things hit your calendar, when you have a therapist, when you have a counselor, when you have a coach, you got to guard it with sharp edges because all of a sudden, as you strive to become the better version of yourself, Watch how things pop up and get in the way. Watch how just random things show up and they just come out of nowhere, and all of a sudden you're looking like, man, I didn't know. What is this about? Why? How come they're calling now? How come this happened now? All these things will start happening because it's just subtle little things that doesn't want you to grow. Let me tell y'all something. The way overall, not every single part of society, but they like when people stay in their lane. They don't want anybody to grow past where they expect you to be. But I'm challenging us to grow past, because as we grow, we make room for others. As we grow, we can do exponentially more for others. As we mature and become better version of ourselves, then we can operate in the gift to be the right tool for the job, to be the solution to a problem in today's world. We are the solution. You and I, you that are listening to my voice, you're the solution to a problem in today's world. Based on the gift that's in you, you're the right tool for the job. And how do you prepare? With the big three. And I'm gonna just put this little commercial in. If that, which I would call your pastor, if he's not helping you become the best version of you, you need to consider going. So and if you're involved in the church that you're not able to operate in your gifting on a consistent basis, and there's no space for you or room or allowances or whatever, we gotta go where we're celebrated, not just tolerated. Ministry wise, I'm talking. I know what I speak of. We need to find that space. It might be time to transition to a new space. We've had a season there. Now it's time for a new season. I don't know who that's for, but I need somebody to hear that, because some of us have been in the same space. We haven't grown, and we're looking around and we start pointing the finger and blaming and fussing and cussing internally. Most of us don't say anything. Introverts, we don't say anything, but inside we're fuming. I know who we are. We have to take ownership. We have to be responsible. We can't ever point the finger anywhere external for our lack of growth, maturity, and success. We have to, and I'm gonna end here. Number one, have a specific goal. How to obtain and prepare for your big three. Have a specific goal or destination. Be kind to yourself and expect temporary setbacks, because it's going to be uncomfortable. Recovery is uncomfortable. And by the way, all of us are traumatized. I don't think there's a person alive that hasn't experienced some version of trauma. It's not, but life is not about whether or not you have been traumatized or you're experiencing trauma, but how you choose to respond. Some of us haven't. We've been laying on the canvas of a life, just with our back on the ground, just like a turtle, and just thinking that, oh, woe is me, I can't do anything, I'm stuck, I'm stuck, I'm stuck. We need to be responsible and say, you know what, I'm tired of being laying here like a flipped over tortoise on its shell that can't move. It's time to move. Life is about growth. And the second you start being willing to grow, you start dying. I'm going to speak straight. We need to hear this. I'm talking to myself. I can't be satisfied with where I am. And that's why I'm dressed the way I am. I'm about to go work out. If y'all, and just shout out to 75 Hard. Now, again, talking about among comfort, you're talking about 2 workouts a day, a gallon of water a day. You got to read 10 pages of a book a day. I got to go read and work out. You got to choose a diet, stick to it, take a progress picture. I'm forgetting the rest. But either way, 75 hard, 75 days straight. If you mess up, whatever, you fall asleep, forget to do something, eat the wrong thing, boom, start over. Some of us need to push ourselves past where we think we can go. Because as we push ourselves back past where we think we can go, that builds grit, that builds resilience. But with the big three, some of us, we look around and we say, oh, look at what so-and-so is doing. Look how successful they are. But we're not willing to do the work that they're doing to get to where we want to go. So we can't blame them and be jealous of them. Ask the question, what am I willing to do to invest in me? And I'm telling us, the wise, smart way is to get a big three. I'm telling us, and by the way, those of you all that are listening, if you know, I'm focused on the big three: therapist, counselor, coach. You could say a mentor. You could say, hey, I want to be an apprentice. What else am I missing? Or maybe a specific coach that you've invested in you, and because you invested, What did that help you transform? And all of a sudden, your perspective's changing, your success is scaled, your business is blowing up. What did you do to invest in you so that now you said, I'm going to therapy, I'm going to get me a counselor, I'm going to get me a coach, I'm going to get me a mentor because I have those things in place, maybe multiple, more than one, more at once at one time. How have they helped you become the best version of you in your success so that you could do exponentially more to help others? That's my goal. That's our goal, my wife and I, in today. So I'm challenging us as we close here, how to prepare for and obtain the big three in your life. We all need a big three. The most successful people all have coaches, counselors, therapists, all going on at the same time to become the best version of themselves. We cannot be satisfied with mediocre and staying where we are. Life is about growth. Growth. And sometimes it takes pruning, and that pruning hurts. It's uncomfortable. But I'm telling you, the other end of it is transformational. I don't even want to know the version of myself pre-pandemic. I'm a new person now, post-pandemic. They ain't give no cure yet, so I don't know. But see, it's not about if a pandemic comes, it's whether or not our bodies have built up that resiliency and health and strength to be able to fight it off while we're getting boosted and getting, let's say vaccine. What's the word I'm looking for? Either way, as we get the shot, y'all know what I'm talking about. We investing in us. You all have a great night. I gotta wait. Oh man, I always go way longer. I gotta find a way to cut these off. But again, have a great night. Remember, nice people do finish last, but kind ones rise to the top and are sustained there. Have a great night. Let's go.